$1 per annum, and the opposition leader has said that, look, their plan to push the income tax threshold to $3 billion, he says it remains under review for them to see how it could be worked out. He says there are certain numbers that are not available to them, but, you know, they're looking, and when they, if and when they get into power, they'll be able to look at all the numbers to determine how they can lift the threshold to that point. So a lot happening on the political front, especially where the economy is concerned. That's my time here on Lead Story. I make way for the news at 7.
We are back for season 2 of Corner Office. We are highlighting small businesses, hard-working Jamaicans who are doing their own thing in their own spaces. People who are in their role, bossing up their role.
Let's go!
Let's get it! It's not if you own the company or not, it's how you own the role. Ice cream is coming. Guess what? It is your Corner Office. Season 2, bigger and better. And guess what? You don't think it's not yet? Check it out. Put the end of the place. Undercover. Easy yourself.
From Kingston, Jamaica, this is CVM News at Noon. It's Wednesday, April 2. I'm Courtney Lewis. Thanks so much for joining us. Manchester Commanding Officer, Deputy Superintendent of Police Kerry Duncan, says despite the unwanted reality of an increase in major crimes last year in the parish, the police are dedicated to maintaining peace.
Coming over into 2025, the downward trend in our violent crimes continues. Year to date, we are seeing a 64% decline in our murders and a general 38% decline in all major crimes. I'll say to you, ladies and gentlemen, that we will never be able to prevent every single murder from happening. However, when it does happen, as per our data from last year, there is a 78% chance that someone will be held accountable.
A man was fatally shot by police in Hanover on Saturday after an alleged threatening to kill his mother with an illegal firearm. The deceased has been identified as 23-year-old Jadale Davidson, a mechanic from Shuttlewood District in Ramble. Reports are that Davidson's mother went to the Ramble police, stating that he had threatened her with a gun. Officers launched a search and later confronted him at a house in the community where he reportedly opened fire. The police returned fire, fatally shooting him. Davidson was said to be an active member of a criminal gang operating in Ramble. He was also the brother of another gunman who was fatally shot by police in Shuttlewood in 2022. The Independent Commission of Investigations, INDECOM, is probing the incident, which marks the 5th fatal police shooting in Hanover since the start of the year. Now, a debate has emerged following Prime Minister Andrew Holness's proposal to develop the Cecil Charlton Park in Mandeville into a national park. Mandeville Mayor Donovan Mitchell has strongly opposed the plan, rejecting the proposal. However, Central Manchester Member of Parliament Rhoda Moy Crawford is in full support.
Mandeville deserves a national park that reflects our spirit of excellence and industriousness. Any opposition to this planned project is both short-sighted and anti-development. No well-thinking resident of Mandeville will deny our need for an inclusive and accessible state-of-the-art facility with play areas, scenic walking and biking trails, open fields for sports and picnics, and designated areas for community events and gatherings which foster community spirit and promote physical and mental well-being.
Water Minister Matthew Samuda is issuing a stern warning to individuals and entities who continue to exploit the country's natural resources for financial gain. This as he toured sections of Western Portland, to include the Swift River area, where locals complain there has been heavy illicit mining. The minister reminds not just of the legal implications of the illegal mining, but also the environmental impact.
A unique ecosystem. It provides water, it provides leisure, it provides opportunity for fishers, it provides opportunity for mining. When any one of those over-extracts or overuses a river, there is a significant environmental impact. So we have seen some significant environmental impact, and we'll be taking necessary action and doing necessary restoration work. But as it relates to those who use the river, these aren't particularly fish-rich rivers, thank God. But it has had impact on those other business people who use it for leisure activities. So we do want to encourage balance so that there is no one group which is adversely impacted. But I am saying to those who are acting outside of the terms of their permit or are acting with no permit and acting illegally, we will be taking the strongest possible action under the law to protect our environment.
French politics was thrown into turmoil on Monday following the conviction of political heavyweight Marine Le Pen for embezzlement, resulting in her being banned from running for public office for 5 years. Speaking on CVM's lead story, Edward Boucher Jr., president of JAMIN France, the Association of Jamaican Nationals in France, shared insights on how events have been unfolding in France since the news broke.
This is what we would describe as bangarang back in Jamaica. It is really all over the place in France at the moment as in terms of French politics. Of course, Marine Le Pen has been controversial because of the history of the Le Pen family. They have been the face of anti-immigration, France first, nationalism type politics for a number of years. But we're looking at a situation where nationalism is on the rise in Europe and also, well, we could say across the world with even Donald Trump's election. So Le Pen would be somebody similar to like a Donald Trump in terms of her views on France being first. Let's take up care of the French people, the French economy, let's buy French, and of course, let's not have immigration. So that has been the nature to a certain extent of who the Le Pen family or what the Le Pen family stands for.
And with that, we take a break. Our discussion segment is next.
Years of savings. 9 days only, March 21st to 29th. Get up to 70% off store-wide across all Bashco locations. Shop curtains, sheet sets, appliances, and so much more. In Bashco, spend 7,000 or more and you could win a 60k shopping spree at Bashco. Follow Bashco on all socials at Bashco Jamaica for more information. Bashco, the store that gives you more.
Need to pass your CSEC CAPE exams to get that dream job or to qualify for university? Then Distinction College is the school for you. We have locations in Kingston, Spanish Town, St. Elizabeth and Ocho Rios. Start day, evening and Saturday classes this coming term and sit CSEC CAPE exams for January's resit or May, June. Maths, law, science, English. We have the lowest school fees. Register before the end of the month and win an entire term free. Call us at 354-8560.
This is combat racing. Best on best. Kenny versus Fred, fastest men alive. Masai versus Jasmine, the crown is hard to keep. Cole, Josh, Yara, are you lucky or good? Gabby, Sydney, Marlady, champions preside. This is where scores are settled, legends made, a festival of speed, 4 times every year. The race is on. Buy your tickets now.
Welcome back. It's time now for a discussion segment. The recently released 2023 Jamaica National Crime Victimization Survey revealed more Jamaicans feel unsafe and think they're more likely to be victims of bank fraud, bribery, burglary, and theft. These negative perceptions come despite reports of a decrease in crime. Now, joining us to discuss this sentiment is Chairman of the Crime Monitoring and Oversight Committee, Mr. George Overton. Welcome, sir.
Recording in progress.
Afternoon to you and your viewers.
Welcome. So, what concerns you the most about this revelation, and what does this tell us about crime trends in Jamaica?
Well, it's not a revelation. It is a fact that should be expected. The truth of what has happened is that our serious crimes, our shootings, our homicides, and so on have gone down. And what is happening now is that the amount of money that is flowing through the organized crime network is somewhat reduced. And what we are seeing is 2 things. We are seeing the randomness in the geographic space of crimes, serious crime, shootings, and so on taking place. So you no longer go to the nightclubs, you no longer go to the places of entertainment and not expect to keep your guard up and be on your guard, because the very same criminals are there with us. The other thing that we must realize is that as the US and the Jamaican authorities are putting the squeeze on the scamming and all of those other things, persons who have been involved in that criminal activity are now going to go back to the easier and older ones. So yes, we are going to see shootings and murders down, but we're going to see the robberies and house breakings go up, because those very same people no longer have that feed of money, and they're going to go back to that level of crime. So it is natural that as you squeeze the crime balloon, things are going to pop out of the squeeze, and this is what we see why people feel less safe, because the personal crimes will now go up.
So, Sir Overton, this survey is a window into the past, though, and I know we don't have all the data yet, but do you think public perceptions may have changed since it has been conducted?
No, I don't think so.
So what factors do you believe contribute to the increase then in the fear of crime?
As I said, what you're going to see now is you've gone from big money organized crime, because that is being reduced. The gangs are, yes, still feuding, but the police are on top of that. But the money that would run from that organized crime is no longer running as wide as it used to. And therefore, those who used to in the past break houses and that kind of thing are going back to it. And therefore, the crime against the person, the car stealing, the car break-ins, the house break-ins, and of course, we see the local scammers on the bank accounts. That's what's going to take, what has been happening and going to go into the future shortly.
So how do we assess the gap between actual crime statistics and the public's perception of crime then?
Well, I think we need to be a little more granular in the questions because, you know, we are celebrating the reduction in shootings and murders. Yes, we have had marginal reductions in the other crimes, but those took such a far back seat that people never used to report them anymore.
Okay, sir, so we're going to take a quick break. Stay with us, don't go away. We'll be back with our discussion segment right after this.
You ever get bun yet? Me not talk about heartbreak. Me talk about the bun with full of spice, raisins, and the perfect glaze.
Bun for bun.
So you do it now.
You have to get bun.
This Easter, you have to get bun from Mother's Bakery.
Get tiles and get creative with your floors, walls, and all the spaces in between. Our knowledgeable sales consultants are happy to help create your beautiful finish with the latest designs in first quality porcelain, wood look, vinyl, mosaics, natural stones, and countertops. At Creative, you will get every tile you need for your residential or commercial projects. Creative Building Finishes, your one-stop shop for everything tiles. Visit our showroom at 5 Red Hills Road or call 876-929-5553. Get tiles, get creative.
The Time is brought to you by Ford Territory.
Welcome back. We're still in our discussion segment and we're looking at the results of the recent 2023 Crime Victimization Survey. We're talking to Sir George Overton. He is the chairman of the Crime Monitoring and Oversight Committee here in Jamaica. So, Sir Overton, you said you squeeze the crime balloon on one hand, but then you see other crimes that weren't reported so much before coming back to the fore. What do you think are some of the biggest challenges that law enforcement faces in reducing crimes like robbery and theft?
Well, again, it's going to have to be more boots in the communities, a greater presence in the communities, and certainly what we are seeing is greater cooperation from the communities with that sort of sharing of information, but also strengthening the community bonds.
So what further policy recommendations then would you make to, I guess, restore public trust in national security and effectively reduce crime?
Yeah, and this is what, so I said we need to be a little more granular, where we are saying, yes, that the shootings and murders, which is what we were really focused on because those were the frightening ones, that we've seemed to have those on the downward trajectory, but certainly as they squeeze the bubble, it's going to come out and we need to now start to look back and ensure that not only are we dealing with the shooting and the murders, but also dealing with the crimes against the person, the robbery, the housebreaking, the bank account scamming, those kinds of things. We have to focus on those as well.
So, Mr. Overton, now on an individual level, how can we protect ourselves? How can individuals seek to protect themselves?
Heightened awareness, be aware of where things are happening and what's going on. A higher level of alertness when you're out in the public space, and just follow the basic rules. Don't make yourself an attractive target. Don't make your assets an attractive target.
All right. Thank you so much. That was Mr. George Overton, chairman of the Crime Monitoring and Oversight Committee. Thank you so much for joining us, sir.
My pleasure.
To international news now, U.S. President Donald Trump will unveil extensive tariffs in what the White House has dubbed Liberation Day. He will outline the plans at the White House later today. But at this stage, it's unclear how high the tariffs could go and exactly which countries could be targeted. We have more from the BBC.
The countdown is on to Donald Trump's so-called Liberation Day. In just 12 hours' time, the president will announce sweeping global tariffs on products imported to the United States. The announcement could affect trillions of dollars of U.S. imports, and there are fears that it could trigger a global trade war. Well, the head of the European Commission, Ursula von der Leyen, said that the EU was ready to retaliate to protect its interests, while Sir Keir Starmer has said that all options are on the table for the United Kingdom. The Trump administration insists that the policy will improve American competitiveness despite hefty criticism and widespread economic uncertainty.
Those days of America, beginning tomorrow, being ripped off are over. American workers and businesses will be put first under President Trump, just as he promised on the campaign trail. The president's historic action tomorrow will improve American competitiveness in every